Good morning, everyone. This is the November edition of our Textile of the Month group. Tanzen is what we'll be talking about today. Now, Tanzen can be a little bit of a confusing term. Tanzen, it refers to two different things that are distinctly different. One is the fabric itself. So I'm going to pause for just a moment. And if you'll notice up in this corner here, it says it's sideways, but Tanzen G. G refers to cloth or fabric, okay, like futon G is futon fabric, as an example. And what we have here is the fabric that is produced for making tanzen is called Tanzen in an abbreviated form. So again, if we say, well, we've already covered Meisen Gasuri in earlier videos, right? Meisen Gasuri. But it's a type, Meisen Gasuri is a type of kasuri, but it's abbreviated and shortened just to Meisen. Everybody knows it's kasuri. Same thing with Tanzen. The official name is Tanzenji, but everybody knows we're talking about the fabric, so it's just Tanzen. Okay. Now there's a garment called Tanzen, and the garment called Tanzen is the garment made with Tanzen. So both of these things, both the garment and the fabric used to produce it, are referred to as Tanzen. Okay, and there's you just have to know from the context which is being used. So in this case, the circle is showing you the fiber content. This particular bolt is made with pure cotton. Tanzen most commonly or traditionally was wool, wool for warmth. Um, let's see here. However, cotton is also very commonly used. Here again, it says Tanzenji, okay? Typically, Tanzen is a check. It's a balanced weave. The warp and weft yarns are exposed equally. Stripes are also quite common. Now, the way that Tanzen is traditionally or most commonly used is, again, as a wool product for warmth. It's used in winter. Now, the garment on the right is a silk Tanzen. What you see this young woman doing is putting the Tanzen on over her yukata. And as you know, a yukata is often thought of as a summer garment, but it can also be sleepwear. So here she is at home in her, we could call it a nightgown, okay, her sleepwear, and she's putting tanzen over the top of it in winter for extra warmth. So as you can see, the pattern here is a tanzen stripe. Okay, again, I said it's often checks. She has it over her yukata, which you can see underneath. And if you'll notice, as she puts this on, the yukata itself does not have a separate belt. The yukata and the tanzen are belted at the same time. Okay, this is for warmth. Now, normally, and on the right, you can see a young man wearing tanzen. Quite often, the tanzen has a darker black collar like this. The darker black collar is so that when it comes time, when it becomes soiled, the collar does. When the collar becomes soiled, that's what you're going to take off and change. You don't launder the entire garment. Quite often, the tanzen itself may go years and years and years without ever being laundered. Okay. So here we see her tying both the yukata and the tanzen on top together. On the right, you see both men and women wear this. Notice that in the case of the men's and the women's garment, these are the length of a standard man's garment. So a woman's garment, quite often, a kosode type, will be much longer, and she hikes it up at the waist to size it. Tanzen, however, are always just from shoulder to ankle. There's no need for that extra blousing of the woman's kimono. Okay. And in addition to that, tanzen, as I mentioned, are for warmth. So they're either out of wool, as you see in the sample on the left, which is unlined, or on the right, what you're looking at are two different cotton. They could, in a contemporary sense, possibly be a synthetic blend also, but normally they're wool or cotton. In the case of cotton and wool as well, they often are padded with additional batting inside, okay, for that extra warmth. Okay, so the lady on the left is done. Here we see a detail of some of the Tanzen standard traditional weave. This is a wool piece. Okay, and as I mentioned, often it will have batting. So you'll have a cotton lining most often. You'll have either wool or cotton outer fabric, and on occasion, very luxurious ones are silk. Now, this is called a wata ire hanten, okay, a a padding-filled hanten jacket. It's also called a tanzen. It depends on the region you're in. Some of these names are used differently in different regions of Japan, but this is a padded jacket worn in winter, also for warmth. Again, this is another version of it with stripes. You can see the batting. You can see the dark black collar for hygiene. And here you can see the young man wearing it over a yukata. Now, in his case, because he's wearing this sleepwear, he is going to have it belted. The sash just happens to be under his hand because the tie of the hanten would not hold his undergarment closed. So when it's a full length one, closed and belted, yukata and tanzen together. When it's a hanten short jacket type use, it's going to be belted separately. Okay, now a real hanten, that's what we think of hanten. The way I normally use the word is a jacket. It's a work jacket. It's the kind of thing you might see a gardener wearing, or in this case, a fireman wearing to put out fires. Now, there's another type of similarly shaped garment called a hapi, which you might be familiar with around Japanese festivals, and you see the kids here. The ones the kids are wearing, hapi, are never, ever, ever padded. They're for summer wear. Hanten may be padded or not padded, depending on whether they're summer or winter use, whether you want warmth or not. And I'm only mentioning this because, again, tanzen does refer to a garment, and the garment is very specific. So this particular item is what's called a kaimaki or yogi, yogi meaning nightwear. Okay, kaimaki means the same thing basically. And as you can see, it's a little bit oversized, and it too is padded. In some regions, this is referred to a tanzen. However, in this particular garment, there's a katazome textile rather than a tanzen woven garment. And one other thing I'll ask you to take note of is that line I just showed you indicates that there's an additional panel inserted in the back. I'll show you that in just a moment. So a yogi or a kaimaki is used basically as a bed quilt. Okay, it's used as a top quilt. And for that reason, it actually has to be larger than a normal size kimono in order to properly cover you. In this instance, the woman is shown sleeping under the garment laid on top, exactly as you would use a quilt. It just happens to have sleeves. However, quite often you will actually put this padded kimono on and sleep wrapped up in it. Both forms are seen in Japan. So this is the kaimaki ji. Okay, so this is the futon ji. This is the fabric, the outer layer. Okay, that's why the G is on the end. This is the fabric for one of these kaimaki. And here again, this is pretty easy to see in the photo itself, but let me add the lines here. So you can see that additional width. That additional width pushes the arms out, makes the garment wider, and makes it more voluminous for when you're sleeping under it, so that to make sure your entire body is covered and snuggled underneath it. Okay, this is another example. You can see the crest at the top, and even without my additional lines, you can easily see where the seam hits. Now, the pattern in this again is a kaimaki ji, okay? What you're looking at is an interesting pattern for sleeping. A lot of people mistake this for either an elephant or for a lion. Actually, it's neither. It's a taper. Okay, a tapir being one of the animals you see in the more tropical regions. It does have a elephant-like nose and it does have tusks, so it's a bit fanciful, but it's actually a tapir. And the reason a tapir is used, and this is a painted version to give you yet one more idea of what it looks like. A tapir is an animal associated with eating dreams. It's a dream eater. And so very often you'll see any kind of sleepwear that is figuratively patterned with a tapir on it to eat those bad dreams, okay? To give you a good night's sleep. Now, those don't have anything to do specifically with our Tanzen, but they do appear on the kaimaki, and the kaimaki often uses Tanzen fabric. I just wanted to go ahead and throw that in there while we had the chance. Okay, now let's look at these different garments I've just talked about. There's the hanten. Wataire hanten is a padded hanten. There's the tanzen, which is at the topic of this conversation. And then there's the kaimaki sleepwear also. Okay, so just to let you see the spelling for these, this is Tanzen and Hanten and Kaimaki. Let's look at the actual construction of each of these to help you distinguish them. So when it comes to a Hanten, it's broken up into the most basic form of Japanese garments. You can see the pattern pieces below, and above you can see the seam lines. When it comes to a Tanzen is very much the same shape, but we've added these extra okumi pieces, the panels in front, and made it longer. Okay, so what this is your standard pattern for any kind of thing that we think of as a kimono. That could be a yukata shape pattern is made this way, a kosode is made this way, a woman's kimono, man's kimono. They all have these basic pattern pieces. Now, when we move over, though, to the kaimaki, what's happened is, as I described a moment ago, we have all these seam lines. It's the same as our Tanzen Kosode type pattern. The difference is it still has the okumi in front. The difference is the sleeves are lengthened by adding extra fabric, as you can see in the green, and the hem is lengthened by adding extra fabric at the bottom, and it's pushed out from side to side with the extra panel and back. All of this blows up the size of the garment, allows it to cover your body entirely while sleeping. Those are the basic differences between each of these garments. However, depending on the region of the country, as long as they use this type of fabric we're talking about, all of them may be called tanzen. Normally, however, we're really talking about just the center one out of wool. So this is a wataire hanten worn in a more contemporary setting outside, perhaps go shopping or something. There are many modern variations, attempts to make them fashionable. So this is using tanzen fabric in more of a man's coat style. So you'll see this on occasion worn over Western clothes in Japan, not normally worn over kimono. And here's a stylish fellow in his nice blue tanzen fabric, wool in this case. This is an ise miyake design, also using tanzen fabric. You can see the typical checked pattern to it. It is wool and considered very fashionable. Okay, so this indicates that it's an ise miyake piece, and the character at the bottom tells us it was wool. It's following the basic format of the kimono that we just saw, just westernized a bit for outdoor fashion. This also is tanzen as a stripe. This is tanzen. This is more typically the kind of pattern people think of when they say tanzen, this kind of a check, as is this one. I tend not to have very much wool tanzen around my house because I don't want a problem with wool moths. So I tend to lean more towards silk or cotton. Um, but when Japanese say tanzen, about they're more likely to think about a wool piece of yardage rather than cotton or silk or anything else. Today also you'll find a double knits, lots of things that masquerade as tanzen, but just the key points to remember: normally checked, stripes are acceptable, Normally wool, cotton and silk are also common. In a modern context, you'll find synthetic blends. So when you're looking for your own types of fabrics, for doing your own kinds of sewing and so forth, there'll be a whole wonderful variety available for you as you explore markets in Japan. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining today. We'll go ahead and cut over to our group talk, and so everyone feel free to go ahead and join in now.